Hi, I'm Zak Foster, and I'm a textile artist who makes modern quilts out of repurposed materials. I am originally from the South, from North Carolina, in my home, not New York City, which is where I'm currently living. And coming from the South, I come from a long line of textile traditions. Of course, here in North Carolina, we had so many big textile mills and weaving mills and things like that. So I feel like that goes into play. And also coming from the South, we have a big tradition of making do, working with what you got. And I feel like that's featured prominently here in the work that we're going to talk about today. As a textile artist, I work primarily with repurposed materials. So by repurposed materials, I mean old clothes, old bed linens, things come to me that have already lived a full life, and oftentimes they come with their own imperfections and their own stains and rips and things. And I enjoy the idea of giving them a second life, the idea of regeneration. And so that informs a lot of what I do. I make primarily quilts out of repurposed material, but also make things, I don't know if you'd call them quilts, hanging textile pieces like the one I made for you. Denim is such a lovely fabric. And in fact, I think I fell even more in love with it working on this project. It has to be one of the world's greatest industrial fabrics of all time. The fact that it's a cotton twill, which means that some of the weave is on a diagonal, gives it extra strength, which is just a really beautiful thing. That's what made it such a popular fabric with workers, with gold miners when they were going out west to California. It's such a strong and beautiful fabric. I love the way that it can age naturally. I love that you can get certain color patterns that just happen, and they're different for everybody that's wearing them because we all wear our jeans differently. I love that denim in many ways has a long and storied history, right? That the word jeans comes from Genoa, Italy, and denim comes from Nimes, France, and then all the way to like James Dean making them popular. It's a fabric that has traveled around the world, and now you can find people wearing jeans in nearly any country around the globe. And I just feel like they're so iconic. Like I can't imagine life without blue jeans. What did we wear before blue jeans? I don't know. When I'm working on art, I try to listen to the fabric and see what the fabric is telling me, because the fabric, usually by the time I get it, has lived an entire life, right? And so I'm wondering, who was the person that has worn these clothes before? I often will do a small, quick ritual that just wishes them well, whoever that person is, wherever they may be. Because I do believe that when you're working with used fabric especially, that something is imbued when we wear it. When we wear our clothes, it becomes kind of like a second skin. I know you had another artist who referred to denim as a second skin. And when you're working with those clothing, I feel as an artist that if you're listening, sometimes messages come out, sometimes things come out. And that definitely happened with this piece. So the title of this piece I'm calling The Denim Question. For this particular project, I used the whole fronts and the whole backs of jeans that Kancan sent me. I also used some orange acrylic yarn because I wanted to make that nostalgic connection that I feel like hand-tied quilts have. So many of us have quilts or have seen quilts that our grandmothers have made, and a lot of times those were hand-tied with big chunky yarn. I mean, any quilt made like in the 70s was probably hand-tied with big chunky yarn like this. And I love the sense of domesticity that it can give a textile piece. I love the sense of hominess that it gives and the sense of nostalgia. So all of that I was trying to tie in with the long history that the denim has. So there were a couple different inspirations for this project. One, working with clothing, it's hard not to think of the human body. Because humans live in a world that we have now designed for ourselves. And we see that everywhere, from architecture to cars to smartphones, and of course to the clothes that we wear. And so I wanted to preserve some of the human body in this textile sculpture that I've made for you. And I think you especially see that in the bottom half of the piece, where you see the legs almost like someone sitting side saddle or something, right? You see the legs come together there on the bottom half. I think it's really lovely. Like, it just feels like there's an actual mass or an actual bulk there, which is really nice. I also love how you have legs that point upwards and you have legs that point downwards. And it just gives a really lovely sense of something dynamic, a sense of movement, like our bodies do, like humans do as we live our lives. So I would say the body is one inspiration for this project. Another inspiration came from the material itself, because I would say as a textile artist, I think I've taken denim for granted before working on this project and really having to think about it up close. And I have definitely, I think I have a denim blindness. When I see people walking around New York City, for example, every other person's wearing denim, if not more than that. And I never really think too much about it. But somehow with this project, I saw, as I was unpacking the jeans from the box they came in, the distressed touches that are added to the jeans really spoke to me and really struck me. And I feel like the material is asking me, why are we doing this? Like, what story are we hoping to communicate with this denim specifically? And I don't know, I think it's an interesting question to ponder. What story are we trying to communicate with these jeans? And that's what I hope I was able to hold intact with this project. I'd originally thought that maybe I would cut out the ripped out sections and just use the whole pieces, right? The parts of the jeans that were still intact. But somehow I just felt like that wasn't doing honor to the original jeans. So I hope that I've done them honor. I hope that when people look at this piece, they see that question about what story we hope to tell with our jeans.